Morning students, my name is Noyal Saji from St. Edmunds College, Canberra. Today I will be going through with you some basic electrical theories like Ohm's law, and together we'll be building a simple parking sensor. So today we'll be focusing upon Ohm's law, and we'll be applying that to our final project. So Ohm's law is a pretty basic idea. It states that the current between 2 points is proportional to the voltage across 2 points. The formula for Ohm's law is V equals IR. V, or E in this case, is the voltage, I is the current, and R is the resistance. The formula can be rearranged to find things like the resistance and the current as well. And so you might be thinking, what is this all used for? Well, that's simple. Ohm's law can be used to validate the values of circuit components, current levels, voltage supplies, and voltage drops. The practical part and build our circuit. Today we'll be building a really simple parking sensor using an ultrasonic sensor, a breakout board, some LEDs, a piezo buzzer, and resistors. So the main function of a resistor is to control the flow of the current to other components. Take for example, if an LED is given too much current and it flows through it, it gets destroyed. So practically the point of a resistor is to limit how much current is flowing through the circuit. A piezo buzzer is a buzzer in which, when electricity flows through it, it vibrates the piezo, making a noise. So an ultrasonic sensor is an instrument actually that measures the distance to an object using ultrasonic sound waves. An ultrasonic sensor uses a transducer to send and receive ultrasonic pulses that relay information about an object's proximity. So another thing we're using is called the breakout board, and a breakout board is practically it's practically connected to the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi, and it allows for larger circuits to be prototyped easily. Each of these components play a vital role in our daily lives, as it's in most of the equipment we use today. So this is practically what we'll be building. This is the circuit diagram of the reverse park sensor, and what the difference is between what we're building and what's seen on the circuit diagram is that we'll be using a breakout board, which will be connected right here onto the breadboard, and instead of showing in the circuit diagram as connected straight into the GPIO pins. The main reason for this is that Fritzing didn't really have any breakout board options. So let's get cracking. We get the breakout board and we plug it in to the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi. Next up, we'll get the ultrasonic sensor and we'll plug it in on the far left side of our breadboard. So first thing to do is get ground. And for ground, we'll use a male-to-male cord. We'll plug it just right behind, just here, and then we'll plug that into the negative railing of our breadboard. Next up, we have VCC, which is the fourth pin from my angle, and we'll get that, and we will plug that directly into the positive railing, into one of the three positive railings on our breadboard. And then next up, we have trig. Trig, we can practically directly plug that in straight into GPIO port number 23, just here, so that's just underneath the ground. So next up we have echo, and to do echo, we'll get a male-to-male cord, we'll plug it in here, and put it onto a free railing that's on our breadboard, so we'll do it here, and then we'll get the 1K ohm resistor. We'll plug it in next to it, like that. And we will plug it in next to it like that. Fair enough, that's plug it in next to it. Then we'll get the 2K resistor, like that. And we'll give it a one railing, like a one railing gap. And we'll plug that right here. The 1K resistor, the 1K resistor like that, and then we'll plug that into the negative railing of our breadboard, and then we'll get another male-to-male wire. We'll use this orange one, and then we'll plug it into that little gap. Actually, that should be just about here. Sorry. We will plug it in right here. Sorry, the resistor's playing up. And then we'll get, and then as you know, the gap in between them, which you should have left, we'll plug that in there, and we'll connect that to GPIO 24, like that. And that is the ultrasonic sensor set up. We're building the lights for the reverse parking sensor. So we'll be using an LED, and a 220 ohm resistor. So keep in mind that the long end is the positive end, and the short end is the negative end, which we'll be grounding. And the positive end is which we'll be connecting the resistor to, straight to the GPIO pin, so we don't overload the resistor to the LED. Sorry. So we'll plug it in. I prefer to have the short end on my left and the long end on my right. We'll get the resistor, and we'll plug it into the positive end, which is to my right, like this, and we'll plug it in just in a gap right there, which is perfect. Then we'll get a male-to-male cord, and what we'll have to do is that we have to ground all of these. So from the short end, we'll plug it in here, just plug it in there, and we'll ground it. And ground it by connecting it to the negative railings. So next up, we'll have to connect these to the GPIO pin, so the code actually knows where to direct the lights to, etc. So what we'll do is right behind the lights, we'll put a plug of male-to-male in, and for the blue light, we'll plug it into GPIO pin number 17. For the yellow light, we'll plug it in just after the resistor, and we'll plug it into GPIO 22. And for the red light, we'll plug it in just behind the resistor, right there, and we'll plug it into GPIO 22. And what we'll do next is we'll do the piezo buzzer as well. So keep in mind the red is positive and the black is negative. What we'll do is we will plug the black into the negative railing, and we'll plug the red into number 25, which is right there, and we'll plug that into the negative railing. And then what we'll do is we'll provide power to them, to these on the railing, so the circuit actually is complete. For the positive rail, we'll plug a male-to-male in, and we'll put it to 5 volts, right there, like that. And for the negative side, we'll ground it, which we will do by plugging it into an empty negative railing, and we'll put it into the ground vault. If you're not sure where the pins are, it's pretty easy to just go through this. It's labeled. If you're not sure how to do it of a circuit diagram or schematics, just refer to the schematics of the Raspberry Pi pins. So now that we've done this, we'll be moving on to the coding part. And to do that, you just need to plug your Raspberry Pi in using a mini HDMI cord. And once you've done that, we'll get straight into it. So I've actually typed up my code onto Python IDE on my Windows 10, which I will send over to the Raspberry Pi. So I'll quickly go through the code with you. So at the start, we are practically importing the libraries, GPIO.set warnings. It practically gets rid of any warnings that might come up from running, that might block the code from running. GPI.set mode and brackets GPI.bcm is practically we're telling the code that we're practically using BCM GPIO numbers. So this trigger was 23. So we're just telling the Pi, the code, what ports each of these objects are plugged into. So GPIO.setup trig brackets trig and GPIO output out. That usually means that's telling it if it's an output or an input. Most of it is output except echo, which is what is mainly used to detect signals. And start is in relations to the global variable. We're practically declaring a global variable. So here we have functions. These functions will be called upon later on in the code. What this practically is saying is, for example, if we were to use the example of the green light, when we call on the function green light, we want the green light to be on, we want the yellow light to be off, red light to be off, and the buzzer to be off. In the case of this one, the define red light, function red light, it practically says everything else will be off, but the red light will be on and the buzzer will be on as well. And another thing is this function is the main function that runs the ultrasonic sensor. It's practically telling it to detect for a signal, and when it does detect a signal, it will return that signal back to the computer. And when it does detect a signal and it gets distance, what will happen is that it will print on the IDE distance, which means it's picked something up, so it can be picking up an object. And if it picks something up and it's the distance returned is greater than 60, it'll have no light, nothing will turn on. If it's between these two numbers, it'll run the function green light. If it's between these two numbers, it'll run the function yellow light. If it's less than 15, it will run this function, which will make the red light turn on and the buzzer to beep. And if it's not picking anything up, or there's an issue somewhere, it will just print error, error, error on the little IDE system. And that is pretty much the code. The full commented view, the link is in the description, just read through that. So what I've done is that I've set my code from my Windows 10 PC all onto Thonny Python through email, and I've copied it in, and I've made sure that it's been correctly formatted, so there's using the correct Python syntax. What I'll do now is I will run the code for you. So we press run at the top. Now it should be running, and now the circuitry works. We can easily apply Ohm's law into our circuit. For example, using this stripped down version, we could actually find out how much current is flowing into the LEDs, for example. Well, we know that Ohm's law formula is V equals IR. We can easily rearrange that to find the current flowing into the LEDs. To do that, it's pretty easy. It's V on R. That's voltage on resistance. So given to us is that we know how much that is. We know that resistor is 220 ohms, and we would also know that the power ports on GPIO pins, according to manufacturer specifications, is 3.3 volts. So we'll go back here. So we'll just write that voltage V 3.3 volts. So we'll insert that into our equation, and we do 3.3 volts on 220 ohms, and when we divide it through, we get 0.015 amps, and which we can easily convert to milliamps, which is equal to 15 milliamps, which is just the maximum safety operating value for the LED without it exploding, which is really good. And that is a practical application of Ohm's law in today's society and in basic circuits. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you build a reverse park sensor. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and you've learned something about some basic electronics, project construction, and Ohm's law. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next week's episode.